The night Israel attacked Iran. What really happened? On a quiet summer night, while the world slept, the sky above the Middle East turned into a silent theater of war. Hundreds of warplanes moved in ghost-like silence, radar black, transponders off, slicing through the heavens like shadows with wings. June 13, 2025, 2:38 a.m. Israel launched a full-scale strike on Iran. No press conference, no ultimatum, no leaks, just flame, fire, and the sound of nothing. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't an accident. This was a calculated message carved into steel and flesh. This is what really happened. It was just another warm Thursday night in Tehran. The streets were winding down. Students were on TikTok. Fathers tucked their kids in. Young couples planned Friday brunch. But hundreds of kilometers away, the Gulf held a secret. A swarm of Israeli F-35s, F-15s, and UAVs flew silently, their electronic signals cloaked, their intentions deadly. They flew like phantoms, over the Gulf, over the desert, over the sleeping cities. Inside Israeli war rooms, silent green monitors glowed. Targets were locked, coordinates confirmed. Satellite uplinks were live. No turning back. They weren't coming for diplomacy. They weren't coming to warn. They were coming to kill the head so the body would collapse. The first explosions came at 2:38 a.m. Iranian defenses were blind. The noise was sharp and fast, like a drumbeat of death across the map. In Natanz, flames shot up from the nuclear fuel enrichment facility. In Fordow, underground labs shook as bunker-busting munitions penetrated deep. Esfahan's missile base vanished under a storm of fire. Tehran's suburbs lit up like a war movie. Except this wasn't a movie. This was Operation Rising Lion. 330 precision strikes. 100 targets. 44 minutes. Targets were not symbolic. They were functional and vital. The central nervous system of Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure. Air defense sites never fired. Many never saw the planes. The silence was terrifying. Iran wasn't just hit. It was hacked, blinded, and sliced open. By dawn, Iran's leadership was in shambles. Top brass? Missing or dead. Command centers? Gone. The IRGC? Cut off, paralyzed. Major General Mohammad Bagheri, believed to be in a secure location, found under rubble. Hossein Salami, IRGC commander? His motorcade was struck mid-transit. No survivors. Satellite images showed destruction, but no survivors. No signals. No communications. Like entire blocks had been erased. And then news broke. 6 nuclear scientists dead. Not by accident. By design. It wasn't just the buildings that crumbled. It was Iran's future nuclear capability clipped at the root. People woke up to rumors and sirens, to flames on the skyline and silence from their leaders. It wasn't fear of bombs now. It was fear of the unknown. The nightmare continued. Not hours. Days. Missiles returned. Not as many, but more specific. More deliberate. Tehran's oil depots lit up the sky like a second sunrise. Military warehouses in Kermanshah turned to dust. And then, something unusual. Citizens in District 3 of Tehran received messages. On cell phones. On hacked TV signals. Evacuate. You are not the target. Your government is. Psychological warfare had begun. Later that night, IRIB's main broadcast tower, Iran's state voice, was hit. Hard. The signal vanished mid-broadcast. Smoke poured from the heart of the capital. To the world, Iran's voice just stopped. The world stood frozen. The United Nations called emergency sessions. Washington spoke in riddles, monitoring the situation. Moscow warned of unprovoked escalation. Beijing looked the other way. No condemnations. No action. Just eyes, watching. The message from Tel Aviv? Crystal clear. We know where you are. We know what you're building. And we won't wait. Iran bled. But more terrifying was the lack of response. What do you do when your enemies don't flinch, but your allies don't speak? Within 48 hours, Tehran's hospitals overflowed. 224 confirmed dead. Many more buried under ruins. Children coughing blood from inhaled dust near Natanz. Reports of radioactive leaks. Panic spread faster than news. Highways choked with families trying to flee. Villages braced for more strikes. Iran's skies were filled with uncertainty. Would Israel return? Would the U.S. join? Would Iran retaliate? Gas stations ran dry. Markets emptied. Sirens howled at odd hours, like wolves mourning a dying empire. One sentence echoed from mouths to minarets. If this was the opening move, what's next? The Middle East has seen war, but never like this. Not with this silence. Not with this precision. Not with this intent. This was not just a strike. It was a surgical warning to the world, to Iran, to its proxies, to anyone listening. It wasn't about territory. It was about power, about control, about deterrence in the shadows. And it may have only just begun. What comes next? Even world powers are holding their breath. But one thing is certain. At 2:38 a.m., history didn't just change. It exploded into a new chapter. This is not what you'll see on the evening news. This is what really happens in the shadows of diplomacy. If you want more raw, unfiltered breakdowns of geopolitics and war, subscribe, hit the bell icon,